Hey, patrons from around the world, how are you all? Hope you had a fantastic 2018 celebration. It is, in fact, 2018 right now, Tuesday, January the 2nd. Hope you're all doing phenomenal. I want to give a shout out to one of our first sponsors here on the IR4 podcast. By the way, guys, thank you so much for helping us get over the $200 mark. We're almost at $500 a month, and once we do that, per month, there's going to be a lot of opportunities to get some incredible content and enriching educators on the IR4 podcast. So again, just thank you so much for helping us educate, enrich lives, and create brainwaves in the industry. So shout outs to our first sponsor, Mr. Robert Bell with www.fly.net, who is a location where you can buy drones online, and that's probably another great episode for a podcast at some point. Let's hop over into the crypto space. And of course, our last review is playing out perfectly. Discussed that Bitcoin would likely have that secondary rotation and then probably bounce. If you're buying Bitcoin off of the 50 EMA, you are a smart person. Beautiful move. We're in this channel. We're probably going to consolidate a little bit longer, but I love it off the 50. I mean, this is, again, the 50 exponential moving average on the daily chart. This is the Coinbase exchange chart. And I just really like the 50. I like the volume coming in on Bitcoin. Here's the weekly. And what I love about this weekly candle is it's a high wave candle. So last week, this is a new indecision candle of last week. So you have 7 entire days for a new candle to be formed. But if this week is an inside week, meaning after 6 more days from now, next Sunday we close and then we break higher next week, Bitcoin will continue to go up, at least into 19,000, high 19,000s mark. I really like this candle from last week. I like this inside movement. And at this point, this is a phenomenal buy the dip opportunity on Bitcoin. Same thing with Litecoin. Litecoin also, LTC USD, presented some really good buying opportunities down here at 219.31. So this was the same exact spot that I mentioned to be keeping your eyes on. Keep your eyes on the prize, right? We didn't quite make it to the 50, but as it was trading down into these levels, and specifically on this day, this was the most recent update, was right there. And just simply mentioning again, this is the kind of the area that you'd be looking at buying the dip. So that happened on Litecoin. And of course, Ethereum, you all know that's my biggest holding at the moment. Breaking out, good volume, looking crisp, so pretty. I mean, at this point, yes, you have this previous all-time high right here, but it did make a new all-time high, 878.50, as opposed to 875. So we've gone and made a new all-time high with volume. Nice, crisp move off the 20. It was a big deal down here that Ethereum held the 20. That's a very, very strong indicator, in my opinion. Here's the weekly chart on Ethereum, and again, we're just scorching right now. You got the high wave candle. You got an inside week last week, and it looks like we're going to be on the verge to go higher. So I think 1,000 is, I mean, we could hit that this week. That's entirely possible in Ethereum. So if you're not in, if it pulls back to about 765, I think that would be a good buy spot to maybe add a little bit. But eventually Ethereum breaks out. My targets this year are probably, realistically in the 3,000 mark. That's where I'm going to try my absolute best to hold it into that level. So Ethereum looking really toasty. And then just the other ones, obviously you all know Stellar Lumens, as opposed to the Stellar Bitcoin, just went bonkers. So here's the weekly chart on the Kraken level. And I did post, if I scroll down here a little bit, here's my posting on my bullish plan on the Stellar Lumen Bitcoin currency pair. So if you want to check those out, I do plan on buying some dips. It traded to a very obvious resistance. And again, the trend looks really strong. I did not get filled on my original setup by a very, very small margin. Let me see if I can pull up the 15-minute chart on XLM. It was, give me 1 second. Right here is where my order was, 0.3067, something like right about there was my order. And it was a limit order, of course, and I almost got filled right there, but didn't quite get that. So we'll see if that pulls back or not. Looking for Stellar Lumen to do some pullbacks, have some retests, but as of right now, I like it. Looks good. We're at some resistance, looking for a little bit of a pullback. Made a lot of money on Ripple over the weekend. XRP USD going bananas. Here's the weekly chart, and this is again on the Kraken index. So XRP USD, this is the weekly chart. Very, very nice. Obviously, solid breakout. A lot of people are excited about what Ripple is going to do. Just a glorious buy the dip opportunity, and it pulled back on Sunday. So there's your dip buying opportunity. I have most of my investment in Ripple BTC. So here is XRB XBT. And again, this is also the weekly chart. And you'll notice we're at a little bit of a resistance right now. So that's kind of why we are pausing, where we are pausing on XRP XBT right here, about 0.15. My target, however, if I go to the daily chart, is really up here. My target is 0.21, my exact target. So yes, we're going to pause in here for a little bit, rest for maybe a month. I say a month. I mean, it's crypto. Maybe a week, maybe a month. We'll see. But if and when it breaks higher, 0.00021 is my target on XRP XBT. And what else did you want to talk about? Verge. I had a lot of people ask me about Verge over the weekend. I forget the ticker. Is it XRV? Shoot, I forget the ticker on Verge. Let's see if I type it in. XVG. All right, so XVG, Verge, Bitcoin. This is a nice little volatile cookie right now. This is the daily, but it is pulling back to the 20 EMA, so looks buyable. IOTA, IOTA, Internet of Things, IOTA, US dollar, as it opposed, it's on the Bitfinex exchange. Looks good, looks buyable, also off the 50, and of course, EOS dollar, which is also on the Bitfinex exchange, still looks, good. Buy the dip, trend looks strong. That's my review, my friends, on this Tuesday. I'll get you another one later this week. Robert, thanks for being a sponsor. And ladies and gentlemen from around the world, I hope you enjoyed the Ryan Taylor interview. We have another session that we plan on recording tomorrow, and that will go out next week. Thanks so much for being a part of the IR4 community. You are all amazing, lovely to learn. I'll see you later in the next update.